What's up, guys? Dave here. I want to share with you a case study from a student's store that made $13,000 in 10 days. This was an additional $13,000 in a matter of 10 days after we made a few notable changes. If you want help like this, book a free call in the description below, free stuff in the description below, as well as my courses. Let's dive into it. So, a case study on an additional $13,000 in a matter of 10 days. Now, it was a pretty explosive 10 days, don't get me wrong, but the store was already doing around 15 to 20K a month. But an additional 13 is definitely a huge jump from where it was. What was the product? The product was a customizable, name embroidered on a kid's birthday party product. Can't show you the product. It would be kind of not right of me to show you my student's exact product, but I can tell you this much about it and the parts that really mattered about it. And it was a custom name embroidered product. There's a lot of moving parts to this situation. And the first one I'm going to cover is custom name. Customization, it's never going away. It's not a trend. It's a huge part of Etsy and it will always give you sales. That's one thing to keep in mind. So, custom stuff, it's big and it's not even saturated as much as it could be. A lot of things can be customized. So keep that in mind. And for you watching, think of ways that you can add customization to your products. If you have a t-shirt that's already doing well, add their name somehow, add a date somehow. There's a lot of things you can do as long as it makes sense, as long as you're not just jamming it onto the product. Think about it. If you have t-shirts already going or some type of print-on-demand product. If you have jewelry, add engraving, all you have to do is get the engraving tools. It will set you apart. It will remove a lot of competition. A lot of people make jewelry, and less people make customized jewelry. There's a lot of people making customized jewelry, but there's even more people making regular jewelry. So anything you can do, and this is a big theme of a lot of the case studies that I share, and a lot of the success you can experience on Etsy is the more things you can do to filter out competition, the better. And a lot of the times it does mean raising the bar or the barrier of entry to that product production. And in this case that I just gave, getting engraving tools would filter out a lot of people. Any print-on-demand product that you have, add text or a photo or both. Some people kill it on Etsy with customized photos with text on it, and they print it on a poster or a canvas. You can take that to another level and add another dimension. You can add a custom photo with custom text on some type of product. And there's a lot of possibilities there. And it depends on what you have. If you have a 3D printer and you're able to get a photo on there somehow, or if you have print on demand, you can obviously add a photo on there somehow, as long as it makes sense. Don't just go and jump and clean out your store and add all custom things. That's not what I'm saying here. I just want you to understand the first element, the first leg of this case study's journey in its success. Next thing I want to cover is that it was a kid's product. People buy stuff for their kids. That's a no-brainer here. Just wanted to tell you the niche. It's a kid's product. It wasn't a adult buying it for themselves. It's a kid's product because parents buy stuff and they buy all kinds of different things for their kids. And going further from that, it's another layer to the kids' product niche is that it is specific to birthday parties. Some parents go really big for the big day, especially when the kids are younger, monumental or, big birthday ages, 1, 5, 10, stuff like that, people go all out for. And that's something to keep in mind. And that's what also contributed to this extra $13,000 in 10 days. Next thing I want to add is that it was embroidered. This does add a barrier of entry to this product. It was a handmade and embroidered product. Not everyone with a laptop can do embroidery on this product. Yes, there are some POD embroidery options, but not with this specific product that it was. You can't get this from a print-on-demand product. That increases the barrier of entry. So however you can replicate a barrier of entry or jump past a barrier of entry in your business, whether it's in your current store or in a new store, that's what you want to kind of look towards. with Etsy ads, they were on, Etsy ads were on, and they were profitable from the beginning. And I've said this in a previous case study. They were profitable in the beginning. We never let it run and run and run, hoping that it will one day become profitable, because a lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but some people have this idea that if you let an ad run and run and run and just get a few sales, as long as it gets a few sales and it's still running, even if it's unprofitable, it will eventually become profitable. Now, that is not the case. It's not going to become profitable after a long period of time. Sometimes it happens, but here's the thing. Even if it does happen sometimes, that means you have to sacrifice ad spend just to hope for that ad to become profitable. Then that will add a huge overhead cost to all your ads and your business, period. Just gambling your money, hoping something becomes profitable. Some of them will, but a lot of them won't. And out of those ones that won't, that's lost money and lost time and lost material costs. So don't do that. Turn it off if it becomes unprofitable. Turn it off if it goes over what you're willing to spend to make one sale. It's that simple. And if you need help with that, I have an Etsy ads optimization call where we'll share screens and I'll help you clean your ads out and get everything fixed up for you. It's just an hour long and a lot can happen. That's in the description as well. It needs to be profitable the whole time. Otherwise, you will have a ton of tests that suck away money and cut into your overhead. That was what I was just talking about. This was not random, though. It was one of many listings we created. So it wasn't like this was a random happenstance. And a lot of people act like with Etsy ads or with Etsy in general that if it's not a random happenstance, I'm going to do this set amount of work. I'm going to list these products. And if nothing happens, then it's not my fault. Something's wrong with Etsy. Something's wrong with the economy. Something's wrong with whatever. But Etsy really is a science, and it is a separate platform from eBay and Amazon, and it behaves in its own way. And if you learn how it behaves and you have good products, granted, you have to have good products, quality stuff that people actually want, and original designs and actually creatively nice things. If you get the science, if you understand the science of Etsy, you will do successful numbers on Etsy. And it doesn't have to be it can just be when, if you learn it right. But not every listing is going to take off. You have to understand that. And the sooner you understand that, the better you're going to play the game of Etsy. And one other thing I want to add on top of this interesting case study is that one weird thing that might have helped. The store was based in a European country. All of their titles were in their local language. And I created new listings in English. So the new listings took off like wildfire. While Etsy claims to translate, which they do, I believe this contributed to a boom in sales. This might not work for everyone, but it did in this instance. So if you're in a different language right now, in natively with your Etsy store, and it's saying because you ship to America or because you ship to these other countries, it will automatically translate to the language. It will, but will it guarantee you a spot, or will it kind of sandbag you a little bit? I don't know. In this instance, it must have been sandbagging her, because once I listed in English, not in their language, things really took off. And it did feel like a hack. It did feel like some kind of glitch. And I know that contributed to it. Obviously, the Etsy ads helped, and all of the things that I mentioned helped a lot. This was a unique product. This was not just some Mama Bear t-shirt that I happened to list in English and it took off. All the things I talked about up until this point had a huge role in it. Don't get me wrong. But this was a really interesting thing. I've never shared this on YouTube before, but it was like a hack. It felt like a hack. It felt like a glitch. I haven't had the chance to do this recently. This was in the past, and I'm just now getting to share this, but it felt really, really interesting. So if you're not in English natively, list a few listings in English. Don't ask it to translate. Maybe that will be a catalyst to a breakthrough. So if you enjoyed this video and you want a free call to work in my mentorship program together with me and have things like this happen, definitely check the description for the link. It's a free 10-minute call. I'll look at your store. I'll tell you how I can help you. Or you can pay me and I will fix your Etsy ads for you. We'll share our screens together and I'll go through everything with you. Or, just hit like, hit comment, hit subscribe. Hope you have a beautiful day.